So in last week's video, I talked about the possibility of fitting a panel here on the rear door in this back part of the window for the reasons discussed at the time. And man, oh man, was there many comments. About the blind spot that this is going to cause, and how I'm not thinking of the wife and she's not going to be able to see properly and it's going to be dangerous and whatnot. So let's just talk about that for a minute. First of all, I thought you might find this interesting. Did you know that the Renault 4CV came out in a commercial version? Yes, check out this picture and you'll see that they made a little panel van. I also found this other picture here, have a look, where someone actually customized one of the panel van versions a little bit. Check out that little love window in that back panel. Now of course in those cars it was the complete window that was blocked off, not just half of it. Now if you want to talk about blind spots, check out this little VW Caddy panel van. Yeah, but here's something you didn't know. My dear wife is very used to driving this car, so she knows everything about blind spots. So with decent rear view mirrors and a bit of driving savvy, blind spots is not a concern. And since we are talking about blind spots, I'm sitting here in Flytrap, my 51 Chevy, and that is what I see when I turn my head. Talk about blind spots. Just trying to simulate the view here from the driver's position looking back. So yes, of course the panel there does block off some of the view, but even with it removed, you will still have that blind spot. And then of course, if this was the commercial version of a 4CV, that would have been blocked off as well. And then a lot of you guys mentioned that I use plexiglass for this window, and I don't know why. I mean, plexiglass, perspex, lex and all that plastic stuff, I can scratch it with my eyes, man. Yeah, sure, it's easier to cut it out here in the shop, and it's probably a little bit lighter than solid glass, real glass. Not that that's an issue with our little car. And then I thought I would just like to show you this, the way the metal pressing works here on this back door. So as for fitting one piece glass, I don't know if you can see, it's got an offset here, so I suppose it's feasible, but there's a gap here of about, I don't know, 10 millimeters, 3/8 if not more. So you would have to fill in that there with a spacer and some sealant to make it work because of that offset. So of course that offset is there to allow space for this front piece of glass, and then your back piece can slide in here behind it, the way it worked originally. But no, real glass is not expensive. I've got a glass guy. I could get him to cut me out a piece, no problem. So if I were to do that, I would use solid glass. However, the dear Swimbo is in agreement with me on this one, and she is on my team. So a matte black solid panel it's going to be. She also agreed that we need to create some kind of ventilation here for the doggos. So I have already started experimenting with an idea here. I did consider the idea of doing louvers, but no, I don't have a louver punch. And I don't want to go through the whole motion and mission of building something like that. So I want to try something else.
wish I could give you up, but you're my new favorite drug. Enter into my blood, run with my toxic love. Look how you make me happy. You take a hold of me. You take a hold of me. I wish I could give you up, but you're my new favorite drug. Enter into my blood, run with my toxic love. Look how you make me happy. You take a hold of me. You take a hold of me. You take a hold of me. Look how you make me.
These little gizmos work really well for removing burrs. I think that's what they're also called, a burr removal tool. I got this one from Temu. Yes, even this old man got sucked in by the whole Temu thing. But it's actually working very well and I'm very impressed with it. So, not saying anything and everything you buy there is good quality, but this little thing is working well. And that is what we have so far. Now, I'm sure some of you oaks are not going to like it, and that's fine. I mean, if we all like the same stuff, the world would be a boring place indeed. But I think it's interesting, kind of adds to the whole rally theme that's floating around in my head, and it does make you wonder what's going on in there. You saw the hole I made, and if I shine a light in here, yeah, you'll definitely see that there's going to be some airflow happening here. I'm not talking about that hole, okay? That was a little boo-boo. I need to fix it. So the way I see this working is if you're driving along and you've got the airflow coming past here, it's going to create a suction effect, and it will suck out all that dog smells. And then obviously when your front window is open, it will also allow air that comes in there to flow out through here. And when the car is parked, well, the doggy can stick his nose in that hole to get some air if everything else is closed up. Thinking about that stupid idea now, I'm sure my wife's going to want me to line the edge of that hole with some rubber or something. So why did I not weld my little scoopy thing to the panel? Well, you know, all that heat would have caused a lot of warpage, and then I have to fight with that. So I figured, you know what, if I just make it like this and you can just bolt it on, this panel can stay nice and flat, and we don't have to worry about struggling with kinks and dents and tin canning and whatnot. Right, so with that done, I guess it's time now for the 80% paint and a 20% tea at the end, so that I can get these things black. So the maths of paint, 5 letters make up 100%, divide that by 5, so we get 20% per letter. If we take the first 4 letters, we will then get 4 times 20% equals 80%, which means then 80% of paint is paint.
much later.
And there we have it. 23 hand-rubbed coats of satin black. Okay, maybe not quite 23. Minus 20. But there was a little bit of rubbing involved. So now I need to glue this thing in here with the polyurethane sealant. Something like this. I'm just doing a dry run here. Yeah, let the sticky fun and games begin. Right, so in preparation for this event, here's my arsenal. I've got Sikaflex polyurethane sealant, corking gun, mineral turpentine, also known as mineral spirits, I believe. I've put some here in a little container. That will be to clean off the sealant, as you will see just now. Bunch of small little rags and some masking tape just in case I need to hold something in place. And then the most important tool of all, this finger right here. No, I'm not giving you the sign, but I like to use that one for this kind of action. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna start with a bead here on the inside with my really old and crappy corking on. I really need to get myself a better one. But yeah. So let's see how this is going to turn out. Like this cavity right here. I'm going to have to put in quite a bit because of that recess. Yeah, maybe that will do it. Maybe a little bit more here. You can probably see that I'm not a professional corking gun operator. Right, and then up along here. Why do I get the feeling that I'm in for a sticky mess? Right, so I've got my corking in place, my sealant. Amazingly enough, I haven't got anything on my fingers yet. And let's pop this fellow in place here and see. Squeeze it a little bit so that the polyurethane sealant can, so that it can bed nicely. I think that's pretty okay. It's not falling out. So this is where you dip that middle finger in the terps. And now we can tool our squeeze out. Like this. And then use our little rag, also soaked in terps, to clean up the excess. And as you can see, it works really well. And the beauty of it is it cleans off the polyurethane, but it doesn't affect the paint. And the polyurethane doesn't stick to that middle finger as well. There's a pile of dirty little rags here on the floor. My fingers don't look too bad. all things considered. Okay, so there is an underlying tint of the polyurethane soaked into the pores, but that'll wear off quickly, man. But mission accomplished. I got this one in place. I've got the one here on the left hand side in place as well. And yes, it turned out pretty nice. I'm happy. And now I can fit my little scoopy thing. Now I've cut myself a rubber gasket so that we will have a waterproof joint. So I just got to get some bolts and bolt this into place.
A few minutes later.
I got some stainless steel button cap screws from the team at Mesco Engineering Supplies. Yes man, that looks fast. Now we just need a racing sticker up there of sorts. And then, Killarney Raceway, here we come! Definitely needs a sticker up here. Now I haven't got anything at the moment except this one, which will make some of you happy, but I guess it's not really appropriate. Should be something more to do with racing or something. Thanks Neil Langford, my buddy in Texas, who sent me the sticker. Can you feel the air coming out of here? So you're on the inside. I've got this window trim back into place. And just looking at this now, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should go get some dome nuts instead of just the normal nuts that's on here at the moment. It will just make it a little bit friendlier. Well, I can hide here in the blind spot now and tell you guys that my glassless window is done. Thanks very much for hanging out with me out here in my forest shop. I enjoyed your company. I'll see you oaks in the next one. So as always, have a lucky one, my brothers and sisters. Yes, I know we've got some sisters watching. The old Pat is one of them.